Hi, and welcome to part 2 of Project 1. I'm going to show you how to set up the Illustrator files, place the Photoshop file, and start recreating that artwork in Illustrator. So if you notice, part 2 asks you to create two AI files or Illustrator files, document size 8.25 by 8.25 inches, and name them just like we did with the Photoshop files, except for they'll have an AI extension rather than a PSD. So if I open up Illustrator, I already have the program running. If you do not, make sure you double click the AI icon in the dock, or you can go to the Finder and Applications, or you can go up to the search spotlight and type in Illustrator and it will come up, and you can execute it that way as well. So I'm going to go to File, New, just like in any program we use to create a new document is File, New. And I'm going to name this one last name, first name, and then squares. It's not going to show the AI. You can put it in, it'll add it. I'm going to select for print, and I'm going to do a custom. I'm going to change my units to inches and do 8.25 by 8.25. Alright, and then hit OK. It will create a new document for me, new artboard. And then the first thing, I need to place that Photoshop document. So I go to File, Place, and find my my work. I believe it's in. Navigate to where that file is that you saved, that PSD file. I'm going to hit Place. I'm going to place it as a template, and then I don't have to make it one. I'm going to hit Place. It's placed. We'll notice over here in the Layers panel, it made it a template layer already with this rectangle inside of a rectangle, means it's a template. I can also go back. Wait for the program here a minute. Program's responding a bit slow. And then I can do File, Place. Again, this time I'm just going to put as a link. I'm going to hit Place, and you'll see it's in full color now. And what I need to do is go to the Layers panel menu, go down and select Template. This just grays out the background and lets me work with the image as a template. It locks the layer automatically. And then I'm going to start creating my shapes. I know that I have a square here, a rectangle, a blue one. I would use my swatch to find my colors. I'm just going to kind of arbitrarily select right now. And then I know I don't have a stroke on anything because I'm not working in that. So I'll select that object. We can go up here and click None on the stroke, or we can do it down here in the Tools panel and click None. And that way I don't have a little black line around my rectangle. I'm just going to name this layer Rectangle 1, or I'm going to call it my first rectangle. Just like in Photoshop, you just click on the layer and it lets you name it. Now I know I have 3 purple layers here, rectangles, and I'm going to turn that blue one off so I can draw them perfectly, these purple ones. Just change my blue to more of the right purple, somewhere in here. You'll use your swatches, remember. And I'll draw these 4. So we can draw each one individually, or I could just take my selection tool, that's the black arrow, and I can hover over the object, hold down the Option key, and pull my object, and it'll make a copy for me, an exact replica. If I hold Shift on this one, it'll pull it down exactly centered. I don't want it centered because that one's a little off. And I didn't hold Alt. So Alt, it gives you those two. The black and white arrow comes up, and you know you're making a copy of your object. Now I'll go back to my Layers panel, turn it on, And now I have the beginnings of my design. I also have that yellow rectangle in the background, so I will draw that all out as well. Come down here, and it's going to be purple at first. Oh, that's not too bad, but I need to make sure that that is more in line with the color that I selected in my Photoshop. So I'll come down here into some yellows and do that. And now I've recreated this design in Illustrator. Noticing the differences in the two programs, how they react, how layers react, how things change, in how one you're working with pixels, the other you're working with shapes. And I'm going to call these my purple people just for fun. So now I need to save this file. File, save as, and I can go into my project 1 and just hit click save. And now it's going to give me some different options. If I'm trying to save back to an earlier version of Illustrator, I can do that. I'm just going to stick with CS6. I'm going to leave everything else alone and just click OK. And now I have my Illustrator file to place inside InDesign. So that's the Illustrator portion of the project. And of course your design should be a bit more complex. And so the Illustrator part was second, not first. You're supposed to recreate your Photoshop design in Illustrator. So next video I will show you how to place into InDesign, give a few brief tips on printing, and also a few suggestions on where you could take the project to get printed if you're not doing it out on campus.